Hello everyone and welcome to Devils United. This is the Q&A stream. Hello everyone and welcome to Devils United. Today I have got John. How are you, John?
Good evening to you, Maisy, and even to you viewers. I hope everyone's fine. Yeah, I'm good. It's been a quiet day, and just a long rest today, so feeling totally fresh.
Oh, brilliant. I'm absolutely fine as well. Everyone who is watching, please hit the like and subscribe button. I'm only 6 more away now from 500 subscribers, so almost there to hit the new milestone and then halfway to 1,000 subs. I know there's already a few people in the chat already, so hello there to people who are already in the chat. Before I go to the first question, Manchester United have actually hired a media advisor from Germany. What do you make of that, John?
That's the first I've heard of it, if I'm honest with you. But one thing I will say, they need someone there, to be honest with you. If you can get a media advisor sort of thing, and which helps the club between the board and the manager sort of thing, perhaps sort of thing. And because that's we could do with that as well, by the way, like the media advisor and director of football. But listen, end of the day, it's just another name, another person in the club, and it just makes it look good for the manager who's going to be in the summer, and but it's all good.
Yeah, I think there definitely needs to be that media advisor because there has been a lot of negative things on social media recently. There is the Munich disaster anniversary today for Manchester United, and even on that post, there was many fans who was slagging off the club. It's not the right time, really not the right time, to be honest, to do anything like that. And I think the media advisor will be there to help to decide what posts should be uploaded, because there were some posts there what fans are thinking what's going on, like after a loss the day after we got there was a picture of Ronaldo saying, how many times a day do you say Sue?
Yeah, listen, I shouldn't be laughing. I'm sorry, but you are right. It's just the way I was can't say that. But first of all, sort of thing, Remembrance Day for the people that got killed on the plane. My apology. And a sad day, and for all Man U fans and all everyone connected to Manchester United. Listen, at the end of the day, rest in peace for the ones who lost their lives. Duncan Edwards is one of them as well, and others as well. That football club, right, with those people there, were the best Man U team.
Yes.
Could have been the best ever. But to lose a life like that, it is so sad, and it's so disturbing, man. But I know it's back in the 50s sort of thing. Like I wasn't even born then. But listen, we got to remember those things what's happened. You know what I mean? This will never be forgotten. Never. No way. And people's like 60, 70, 80 will definitely remember that sort of thing. Yeah. But my heart goes out to them, and may rest in peace and loved ones as well. But it's a sad day, and we are going to remember them, Maisy.
It sounds absolutely amazing what you've said. Thank you very much for that tribute there on the Munich disaster, and that is a thank you for all the Manchester United fans there as well.
Thank you.
We'll touch on now with our questions. Everyone who's watching, and you do have any questions, just let me know. I'll pop them there in the chat. A few more people has entered the chat as well. Hello to Static. Hello to My Queen. Hello to Rather, Vincent. Hello to Reese, who is watching through Twitch. So what we'll do now, we will go through a couple of the questions. The first question here was from Niall. What is your thoughts on the draw for the FA Cup? Do you know the draw, or would you like me just to say it for you what the draw was for the fifth round?
If it goes to draw, and I'll just pick ones out, sort of thing, because I've quite missed it today.
So the draw is, so this will be from the 2nd of March, the weekend of there. So Crystal Palace versus Stoke City, Peterborough versus Manchester City, Middlesbrough versus Tottenham. It is to be confirmed. So it was Nottingham Forest versus Huddersfield, Luton versus Chelsea, Liverpool versus Norwich, Everton, and that will be either between Bournemouth or Boreham Wood, and Southampton versus West Ham.
Oh, I think that Middlesbrough Spurs is going to be a cracking tie. That's a great tie. And, excuse me, it's not an easy place to go. Nottingham Forest, I mean, they got a canny one as well, sort of thing, like, and Luton against Chelsea. Wow, that's a fantastic tie for Luton. And you know what it is, right? I mean, anyone can win the cup this year. I mean, look at Peterborough United, got Man City. And Liverpool Norwich, I mean, you expect Liverpool to come through that as well, 110%. And Everton's got a nice home tie as well, if they facing Bournemouth or Bournemouth sort of thing. So, yes, a cracking ties there. But you got to say Middlesbrough, Tottenham, Luton, Chelsea, Peterborough, Man City.
Yes. One I'm looking forward to as well is Nottingham Forest, because Nottingham Forest has actually been quite the underdog so far this in this FA Cup tie, and this is what the beauty is of the FA Cup. You can never predict. It's always that one-man leg. So it's if you win it, you win it. You don't, you don't. They managed to knock out Arsenal 1-0 and managed to knock out Leicester 4-1. And that is absolutely brilliant. And to see as well, our one of our players on loan to Nottingham Forest, James Gardner, who is doing extremely, extremely well at Nottingham Forest, for him to get that assist there, especially on that third goal. It's really stuff you would really like to see there from Manchester United, from a Manchester United youth academy, and as well to see teams who you wouldn't expect to actually go far in the cup, and they're doing that, because there's a few teams on there. Peterborough, who's in League One, I believe, they're in against Manchester City, which will be very good for Peterborough. Stoke City against Crystal Palace, another good tie there as well. And whoever Everton get, if that's going to be Bournemouth or Boreham Wood, it's very good ties there.
Absolutely. Peterborough is in the Championship, by the way. It's not League One.
I thought they got promoted.
No, that's right. They were promoted to the Championship there last season. But so they go. Listen, like I said, sort of thing. I'm going to be real, right? The FA Cup, right? It's the best knockout league of world football, right? It's the gist of the cup. It's the romance of the cup, yeah? It's special, yeah? And people's got to realise that, yeah? Some of these teams are disrespecting the FA Cup, playing the weakened sides, right? I'm sorry, but if you don't want to play the strongest team, the FA Cup, yeah? Then don't bother, because at the end of the day, the FA Cup is there for a reason. It's special. It's magic. Look at Mr. Harriers. They're a kick away to winning, putting West Ham out of the cup, yeah? You can never say never. West Ham got lucky yesterday, yeah? But it's the magic of the FA Cup. Plymouth Argyle had a goal against Chelsea, yeah? Goal up, only get beat by 2-1. But all these clubs, right, I mean, just loves the FA Cup, yeah? I can go back like Ashley years, right? Newcastle, right? It was told the managers, like, I empowered you to play weekend team. Play weekend team in the FA Cup, because they got no interest playing in cups, yeah? I mean, Maisy, I want to win the FA Cup. I want to win the FA Cup. We haven't won the FA Cup since 1955.
Wow.
Yeah? That's a long time ago, right? It's magic. It's tradition. It is, for me, I love the FA Cup. I want to win the FA Cup. Someone ask us and say, what see Newcastle win? I want to say the FA Cup. Because for me, I want to be at Wembley. I want to be in London. Yeah? And I want to have a good day out. Us Newcastle fans would take about 40,000 to Wembley that day. And do you know what it is? Right? The players love the FA Cup. They want to be in it. They want to be a part of it. Yeah? These clubs, right, want to be there. Look at little clubs as well. They want to be there. But at this moment in time, it's always going to be the big clubs going to end up winning. Man City, Chelsea, even Liverpool, yeah? But it'd be nice to see teams like Newcastle or any other smaller clubs get their name on the cup because you got a chance there. But at the end of the year, I think we need, to take the competition a bit seriously because it's a bit of a mockery as well. People pay all that money. So like 30, 40 quid just to see the reserve team. I do not want to be paying 30, 40 quid to go to watch Newcastle and put in an under-23 squad. But talking of that, we put out a strong team against Cambridge and the rest is history for the wrong reasons. Yeah, they got beat.
Yes, I completely agree with your comments there. I think a lot of people did quite underestimate even us against Middlesbrough to think, oh, we could play all our kids and we could still win 5-0. But that wasn't the case because with Middlesbrough, I found that while the stats are quite similar to Rangnick since he's come at Manchester United to Wilder when he came to Middlesbrough, they both only lost one game and they've either drawn or won all the other games. So it's going to be a tough test for both the managers. The last time Wilder came to Old Trafford, he managed to win, and that was when he was under Sheffield United manager. Yeah. So you can never underestimate any kind of team whatsoever. I do believe in make the odd 1 or 2 rotations, but a whole team rotation, I think it's extremely, extremely risky.
I totally agree. I mean, absolutely right there, because if you make a wholesale changes, you get beat. You get embarrassed. You get absolutely embarrassed, and quite rightly so, because again, you're disrespecting the competition. And fans got to come up all that way and pay a lot of money to watch a reserve team. I can remember, when we played Brighton, I think it's 2013, I think, on the Pardew, right? Newcastle fans had to wake up 2:30 in the morning, get to Brighton about 9 o'clock in the morning. When the team sheets came out, because I was there, excuse me, when the team sheets came out, it was a reserve team. And the fans got absolutely peed off about that sort of thing. Yeah. Absolutely furious. Yeah. And they got beat by 2-0. It was just so embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. And I said to someone and said, look, I do not want to see these players ever again playing for Newcastle United because they're not good enough. They're simply not good enough. Yeah. You had reserves there, under 23s and that sort of thing. I wish I never have gone now because at the end of the day, I paid 30 quid for that ticket. I wish I never bothered going because I knew they're going to change that team. I knew there's going to be a reserves team out sort of thing. I was proved right. And I don't want to say that again. I did not ever say that again.
No, I can imagine you don't. We'll go on to the second question now. And this is from Vincent, who would like to know what your opinion is on the Munich from someone who is a non-Manchester United supporter.
Yeah, it is sad, man. It is really, really sad. I truly believe that that squad back then was the best Man U squad ever, apparently, right? But it is so sad. And it's just shocked the footballing world for me when I heard that news. And we're never going to forget this, Vincent. We're not, yeah? But every year, it's going to be remembrance, right? Whether you like Man U or not, let's be real, right? Just make it a mourning day. Just make it a mourning day, right? We all got to be sad at this sort of thing, right? There's a lot of families lost that day and players as well. Duncan Edwards, I just mentioned him, by the way, could have been the best player in the world back then. And, sad, man. I don't know what else I can say, but come from a non-United fan, let's be real. I mean, it is a sad time and God rest in peace. Never be forgotten, these people, you know what I mean, who tried to lost their lives. And we never forget them. Never. No way. They're going to be in our hearts forever.
That was just absolutely beautiful there. Thank you so much, John. Ravi has made a good point. Back in the early 90s, when he was younger, he remembered players would used to sell their right arm to join Manchester United, but now it is not the case. And that is completely correct there, because I feel like compared to the 1990s and now the football altogether has changed. It's just turned into a lot more player power more than anything, if you do agree with that, John.
Listen, I'm going to stand where I see it. Manchester United are the biggest club in world football today. And I know Newcastle fans can listen and say I'm a red. I'm not a red, right? Man United, then Real Madrid, then Barcelona, then Bayern Munich, then Juve, in that order, right? And listen, at the end of the day, you go in and you play for that team, you play for the badge and the fans. Got to remember Yaz for the back of your shirt, right? And I've always said that. Listen, you play for the club because you want to play for the club and play for passion for sure, and really, really go for it. Today, you've got players of today like a Paul Pogba don't care about the club at all whatsoever. Marcus Rashford, I mean, I think he's a great player, but I don't know what's wrong with him this year. His heart ain't in there. Yeah, you've got other players who just want to show. Well, what's your game at Newcastle? And this has got to be the worst Newcastle team, Man United team I've seen in years. I've said that. Yeah. Ask you a question, right? I'll turn it on you, Maisy, right? Is that team going to win you a title?
When you look at that team on paper, this team on paper ideally should win you the league with the players you've got. You've got one of the best, considered one of the best centre-backs in the world. You've got people who would argue Ronaldo is the best player in the world. You look at Paul Pogba, who people say he's the best midfielder in the world. Bruno Fernandes, such an amazing attacking midfielder. And we've got youth players there who people would consider brilliant youth players like Rashford, Sancho. I know Sancho ain't come from Manchester United youth, but he's still a youth player compared to more senior players. And you do look at things like, on paper, yes, we should be winning the league, but knowing all this, what has gone on in terms of the sackings, the unreliability, the player power, everything else what behind the scene, I can't imagine us winning any kind of trophy whatsoever. We're far behind on Manchester City, Liverpool. I'd even say we're even far behind to Chelsea.
Yeah, it is sad, man. I mean, going back to that question as well, are you comfortable with your midfield? Are you comfortable with Lucas? If I'm a United fan, I wouldn't be at all. No. I mean, but Tomley and Fred in the holding role in the midfield, those two there are not going to win you the title. I can tell you that right away. They're not. We all know Fred as a player, and Tomley will come good, right? But if you want to bridge that gap between yourselves and, say, Man City, you're going to need to spend about 200 million in the midfield. You need to get two world-class players in that midfield. And then maybe, just maybe, then you might just bridge that gap. How long are you going to win? How long is it going to take you to win the league? I don't know. And there's another thing, Maisy, right? And I'm going to tell all United fans as well. You haven't won a trophy for the last 6 years.
Yeah,
right?
Coming on to 6 years in May.
Embarrassing football. Could you imagine Real Madrid having won a trophy in 6 years? The fans will be absolutely furious there. I'm telling you. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Listen, I want you guys to do well. I really do. I want you to push that gap. I want you to win the title. I want you to win things, yeah? But for me,
Reece made a point as well that a reason why we are behind is because of the board, no focus or any actual success. All they care about is the fact that they just want to be top four for Champions League money.
Absolutely. I mean, that is for me personally. I want to win things. I want to win trophies. I want to win titles. I want to win this and that and top sort of thing. You know what I mean? How you do it? Win a title. Go for the title. Fight for the title.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You should be fighting for the title. And at the minute in time, it's going to take you years again until you get a decent manager coming. Now, the manager that you should be getting, right? And you should pay the 35 million a season for this guy, right? It's Diego Simeone. He'll fix your defense up, right? The attacking side can wait. He'll fix that defense, right? He's a madcap. And he's a brilliant tactician as well. And then he'll fix up on the midfield up front, yeah? But in the meantime, if Diego Simeone walks up the Man U now, right? He'll look at that team and he'll just be laughing. He'll be just absolutely laughing at that team, especially the back four. And he will definitely fix that defense up straight away. He is a defensive manager in a way, but they're the dark arts of football with his Atletico Madrid team. Yeah, that will make it very difficult. Very difficult.
I completely agree. 100% agree with your comments. Let's go on to the next question now, and this is from Reese. Question for you, John. Thoughts on the mighty Milan performance versus Inter last night?
I only saw the highlights as well, I'm not going to lie. And, obviously I was a bit tired, sort of thing. But listen, I mean, I know Milan came back from goal down to win 2-1. Olivier Giroud scored twice, 2 and 3 minutes. That win puts them above Inter. Napoli, I think they won the day. that Serie A title is going to be absolutely brilliant this season. I really think that sort of thing. Anyone can win Serie A this season. Yeah, I mean, Inter was top for quite a while. I think Simone Inzaghi got his tactics wrong, the subs wrong yesterday, and that cost him not just the point, cost him the game. And like I said, sort of thing, anything can happen. I think Napoli's got to play Milan at home. I also believe I think Napoli got to play both Milan clubs at home. That will determine who wins the Scudetto. Yeah, if Napoli won the Scudetto, that'll be the first time since 1990. If you win the Scudetto for Napoli, I could tell you something, Maisy. The party will go long and hard for weeks and months and here and in, because you win the Scudetto in Napoli, you're instant legends, right? And I'll tell you now, win it for Diego Armando Maradona, because he sadly passed away last year, beat for a heart attack. And I think these guys want to win the title for Diego Armando Maradona. Could you imagine if Napoli with it? But Napoli's been getting beat to silly games. They've dropped 2 points at Sassuolo. They got beat at home by, I think got beat at Spezia as well, which is a shock. But listen, they dropped a lot of points, and that's going to cost them at the minute in time. But anything can happen. It's not over yet.
Yeah, I was actually just looking at the table as well for Serie A as well, and Inter are currently in first place. And to be honest, it's quite a tight table for top three because it's only 1 point between it all, and it's goal difference what's standing between second and third, and it's just a point between first place. So it's literally all you can play for right now in Serie A.
And also, Atalanta got beat today. They were down to 10 men as well. So if Juve win tonight, they go into fourth place, and Atalanta will drop out of the Champions League race as well. So I don't know what's going on with Atalanta at the minute in time, but Duvan Zapata came on in the second half and only lasted 7 minutes, which is not good at all. And he had a recurrence of his injury as well. That didn't help at all whatsoever. And that is why that Atalanta lost that game of the day, and 2 poor goals conceded. And listen, at the end of the day, it'd be great to see Atalanta win the title. And could you imagine they won the title in future years? I mean, Gasperini, the head coach, has done really well for that club, and they buy young players and then sells on for profits as well. But I mean, like I said, we also have to Zapata. I mean, I'm not going to say dodge a bullet, because he could have been injured for us in the first game, and that would not be good. But listen, anything happen in Serie A, I think there's going to be plenty of twisted turns, but I still think out of the 3, I think Inter will do it again.
Oh, that'd be quite interesting, won't it, to see as well? And people did used to say that the only reason why Inter won the league last year was because of Conte. But if they managed to do it again this year, it's not obviously because of Conte, is it? It's because they're building up as a team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he wanted money. He's told he's got to sell either Lukaku or Lautaro Martinez as well. Conte wasn't very happy about that sort of thing. He was being backed after he won the title, and then unfortunately, he walked out on Inter Milan. And then when 96 million quid came in for Lukaku, they had to sell him because of the money sort of thing. But it is what it is, and I still think they got a great player in Lautaro. They've got a player called Joaquim Carrera as well. He's a canny player when he's fit. And, he's been getting in amongst the goals, but Lautaro's the key man up front. And they got some good players there. Karan Kaçaroglu as well, the Turkish international, came from their rivals, Milan, on a free. And they're still solid. I still think into a solid team. But Handanovic, how much longer can he go on in goal? I mean, he's still a quality keeper. And De Vrij got turned inside out. I think he's out of contract at the end of the season, by the way. And Brozovic as well. Newcastle linked to him as well. But he opted to stay with Inter Milan, sign a new deal when it comes. And like I said, I think it's going to be plenty of twists and turns in Serie A. And I truly believe it's all going to come down to the final few games. Who's got the mental strength? Who's got the bottle? And I think with Inter's experience, I think they'll do it. I think Milan will probably bottle it again.
Yeah, it'd be definitely something to look at, wouldn't it? especially nearer to the end of the season. I don't really follow the league too much, but I'm gonna start following it that little bit more because it has been interesting for me to watch. I have been watching a little bit of both AC Milan and Inter Milan. I'm quite taking a liking for AC Milan at the moment, so I'm gonna obviously have a little bit further into it and probably watch a little bit more of their Serie A league game, see what I think of it as a whole league altogether, because I think it would be quite interesting to get more knowledge into different leagues in general, to be honest.
Absolutely. And you know what it is, right? I mean, it's a cracking league. I mean, the thing is, the atmosphere in the Italian games is fantastic. The home end, right, in the Curva, which is the north, their own stand behind the goal, it's called the Curva. They sing non-stop. I went to Sampdoria, right, and they won 4-0. They won today 4-0 today. Went to Sampdoria, right, for the Genoa derby. Genoa, Sampdoria, Genoa, sort of thing. The atmosphere, for me, is one of the best derbies in world football, the Genoa derby. And I tell you what, I mean, the atmosphere is absolutely magnificent there. And it's just a shame I couldn't go this year because of the COVID situation. You had to go one place. And that was that, really.
I just want to say good evening to Kai. Thank you for tuning in. Ravi has a question for myself regarding Lingard wanting time off. So with the Lingard situation, that I think personally there has been some miscommunication there between Ralph, the board, and Lingard, because the board has gave Lingard that time off, and I don't think Ralph really knew about it. He's come out about this situation, Lingard having the time off, and for me, knowing that our squad depth has weakened, it's obviously fault of our own because we've let so many players go on loan. We've got Ahmad on loan, we've got Donny on loan, we've got Martial on loan, so we have loads of players on loan. Lingard now, he is a backup right wing player, and I think personally for me, I think it was a wrong call for him to have that time off. He hasn't played Manchester United first team for quite a while, so he should be there ready and waiting for when if it is going to be a substitute option, or if that's going to be him to start playing that starting 11, because Sancho, it's not going to be certain if Sancho could play every single game because he's had injury issues last season at Dortmund. And who knows, that injuries could lead back to Sancho maybe in the next few months to few years, just depending on, of course, the amount with the little game time he's had at Manchester United too. So personally for me, absolute wrong call. And if it was down to the board to give Lingard that time off, it should have been authorised by Ralph and not authorised by the board. And that is why Ralph is the manager. It should be him who is allowing Lingard to have time off, nobody else. That is my personal opinion.
Well said. I totally agree. Does this happen under Alex Ferguson? Would it ever happen under him? Definitely not. Absolutely no way. Because I'll tell you what, they wouldn't even interfere. There's absolutely no chance. But one thing I'm going to say is, right, I mean, the manager should be managing, yeah? In my opinion on Ralph, right, is he the long-term future Manchester United? I say no. If you look at it on this record, right, and I think if someone can help us along the way, if remember this correctly, right, he hasn't won a trophy since 2000 for Stuttgart, right? If I remember this correctly. I could be wrong, but I'm sure I could be right. He hasn't won a trophy since he won in Stuttgart, right? He came well and stopped with Leipzig. I think it's 2004, 5, 6, whatever it may be, yeah, as manager, right? But other than that, right, what has he won? He hasn't won that much. He hasn't won anything, really, to want being a manager of Manchester United, yeah? Okay, I know you got to back the guy, but personally, if I was a Red, he would definitely not be my manager. I'm telling you. I would say, look, pay the money for Diego Simeone to get him out to Atletico Madrid, get him in here. I think he needs a new challenge, get him in there. But at the end of the day, right, I think Ralph's hand's been undermined. It really has.
Yes.
And I think Ralph's come out and said, look, he wants to play, go to Newcastle, then they should let him go to Newcastle. But the board said, no, it's not going to happen anytime soon. Well documented why that wasn't the case. Again, people say about the name I'm not going to mention on here. People say that could be a rival in future years, sort of thing. They're not going to tell you that, you know. But Jesse Lingard, as things stands now, he's not going to be on the plane to the World Cup this year. I think he's done. I think he's done in Southgate. Done.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree there. Vincent has a question for yourself, John, on your opinion on the handball. What people would say robbed Manchester United from the other night. I would say that shouldn't have stood, but we still should have been a lot better. We had 30 total shots. We had Ronaldo missed a penalty. Bruno missed an open goal. We can't blame that handball for us losing because we should have been a lot more clinical in our finishing. So I personally wouldn't say it was robbed, but it shouldn't have stood that goal. But what's your opinion on that goal anyway, the handball?
Absolutely right. I mean, you shouldn't, like I said, sort of thing, you can't mourn about it because people moan about the handball. Yes, it's handball, but if you watch it again, that he controlled it, but that ball could have gone anywhere left. He did his hand, yes, but that ball could have gone anywhere. So he might not have known about it. If he just like that, moved his hand, I think it might have done cool, but it was definitely handball sort of thing, like, you know what I mean? But you're right. You should have won that game well before that incident sort of thing. You can't blame it. Like, you got to look at the whole picture sort of thing, yeah? Look at his performances. How many chances you've had?
Yeah, 30 total shots, 9 shots on target. And Ronaldo's missed penalty wasn't even on target. And we shouldn't have allowed it to go to penalties. And then knowing that he was on penalties, I am extremely disappointed in certain players I will name Luke Shaw, Phil Jones, more senior players who allowed Alanga to take a penalty before them. And Luke Shaw is one for taking penalties, but he has allowed a 19-year-old who has only just broke into the first team properly this season to take a penalty on an FA Cup game, which is our most strongest chance of winning the trophy this season. So I'm disappointed even in them two players that they wasn't willing to stand up and take a penalty before a 19-year-old who's only just broken.
Do you know what it is, right? It's hiding. They're hiding because they don't want to take responsibility, right? And they put a 19-year-old lad, right, to take responsibility, to take that penalty. Yeah? What it is, right? I mean, they were hiding. Do you know what? He had the courage and said, you know what? I'm going to take it, right? I'm a grown-up man. So if he misses this, right, I hope the fans don't blame him for it at all, right? Don't blame him for missing that penalty. I'll blame the senior staff as well because they bottled it. Do you know what I mean? They just went hiding. They didn't want to know because they knew if they missed the penalty, all the news would be on them for the wrong reasons, Maisy. And you know what it is, right? I think the players who refuse to take a penalty should hand their heads to shame, like Luke Shaw, Alex Tellers, Harry Maguire, right? And obviously there are players who do not want to take that penalty as well, sort of thing. But like I said, I'm going to say to the fans now, Man United fans, right? Especially on social media, don't blame a 19-year-old lad, will you? Please don't. Because at the end of the day, he's going to learn from that. And the one thing I'm happy with, the players went up to him, gave him a bit of advice, consoled him as well, which I think is a flipping good idea.
Yes. I couldn't say it better myself, to be honest. And I just feel disappointed with the more senior players as well as that we should have finished in the first half because we should have been 5 goals up by the first half. So I couldn't say that handball was to rob because we wasn't good enough. We just simply wasn't good enough for me. Reese is laughing that FA Cup holders battered by a rival. Niall has got a question for myself. What is the thoughts on Henderson starting? De Gea is undroppable. Yes, I do believe that De Gea is undroppable. I think his stop-stopping has been brilliant and he has improved so much. And I think the phrase is right. You need to hit rock bottom before you can get back up again. And I feel like that was the case with De Gea. He isn't first choice goalkeeper for Spain anymore. He lost on penalties again in the Europa League final. And with Dean Henderson, obviously he got that bit of game time nearer to the end of last season. There is qualities for both the goalkeepers. Henderson's distribution is brilliant. His save percentage on penalties is absolutely brilliant as well. But I just think it's absolutely ridiculous paying around I'd say about 500k a week on 2 players, which is goalkeepers. We can't allow that much money to be spent on goalkeepers. So for me, one of them does need to go. And right now, I can't see. I wouldn't want De Gea dropped based on what he is, how he's playing right now. So, as much as I do like Dean Henderson, when is he going to get that game time? Because I can't see him getting the game time anytime soon. So it's like he'd either have to go on loan if he wants to go to England, or we'd just have to sell him on, and then we'd have to look at another goalkeeper a bit later on. Once, of course, De Gea is maybe going downwards again, or if the case is that he wants to leave Manchester United. We can't allow 2 players on 500k a week. No way. Hello there to Solo. I hope you're well. Thank you there for tuning in. Niall has another question. Who can you see as your dark horse? For me, in my opinion, I have a feeling that it could be Nottingham Forest as they beat Arsenal, and now Leicester, and next up it's Huddersfield. So who's your dark horse in the FA Cup there, John?
Well, I say Man City's going to win it again. I mean, because you know what they're like in cup competitions, yeah? I think West Ham's got a good chance. They're winning by a goal and 0, by the way. Aston Villa's got a good chance if they get back in the game. I think it's going to be the usual suspects, to be quite honest with you. So for Liverpool's still in the competition, Chelsea's still in it as well. You cannot put it past the big teams again in the FA Cup. But for me, I think Foster's got a wicked chance as well. Like, you know, they've got Huddersfield at home. And I would not put it past Man City again. But if we're going to go for dark horse, for me, I'm going to stick in Mecca. But even though we're losing at the minute, is Aston Villa in the cup? I'm not sure, but I'm looking at the wrong one there.
Aston Villa, no, they're not in the FA Cup. We knocked them out.
You knocked them out. Fair enough. Yeah. So that's fair enough. So I think it's going to Man City to win it. But the dark horses, that's going to be a hard one, really. But I wouldn't put it past the 4. But at the lower club, Nottingham Forest, I think they do okay. I think they're having a fantastic season. The Stevie Cooper sort of thing. He took over when they were at the bottom of the table, 60 feet and 60 feet straight for Chris Hooten got sacked. Steve Cooper took over there, and they're close to the playoffs, I think. So, yeah, I would say, for me, I'm going to say, it's a tough one to call, but I'd think like say Forest. They're not going to win it, but I'm going to say Man City win the whole thing.
I absolutely love when there is dark horses, because I remember last season of the Carabao Cup, it was actually Brentford who was the dark horses, because they managed to play all the way up to the semi-finals, and that was against Tottenham Hotspur. So they were so close to even winning the Carabao Cup. So I absolutely love having them dark horses, but Nottingham is definitely a good shout for me. Managed to knock out 2 teams in the Premier League is absolutely impressive. You've got to give nothing but praise there to Nottingham Forest. And a lot of people are seeing Middlesbrough there as that dark horses knocking out Manchester United, and fair play for them to doing that, because they have shown they have been dark horses so far this season. But looking at this draw, what is coming up as well, it'll be interesting to see on how Stoke City would do against Crystal Palace as well, because a lot of people are saying Stoke City are not doing too bad at the moment, so that would even be an interesting game for me.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, anything can happen in the FA Cup here is on the day. Excuse me. I mean, you got Leicester club sort of thing, go in and puts the ball on the line, sort of thing, to give it a goal, defend for their lives. They got out to lose. I mean, you go there, just give you your best shot, and that's exactly what Stoke are doing at the minute. I'm sure they go to Palace. Going to make it real difficult for Crystal Palace, by the way, because they do like to play football. Stoke City are a bit pragmatic on the Michael O'Neill, and, you know, they don't give much away. And I think it's going to be a pretty close game, that game. I think it's going to be a tight Palace win, but don't get us wrong, Stoke ain't going to go there and roll over. They just won't do that because they are a tough team to crack. But wouldn't kind of rule out Crystal Palace as well as a dark horse as well. Everton as well. Everton said that the competition absolutely walloped Brentford by 4-1 yesterday. Yeah, don't write them off. Yeah, Spurs, they're cup tight side as well. Antonio Conte as well. They might do bits as well. But anything can happen in the FA Cup. This is why the FA Cup is the best knockout tournament in world football today, because it's romantic and it is fun and it is absolutely tradition. And I love tradition things.
Yes, I completely agree. Good evening to Diego. Thank you for tuning in. Hello there to Andrew. Thank you as well there for tuning in. I'm very well, thank you, and I hope you're well too. Andrew said I'm on 495 subscribers, so not long now until I get that 500 subscribers. So everyone, please hit that like and subscribe button. So fingers crossed, I will get that 500 subscribers very soon. Bath Time, hello to you, Bath Time. I hope you're well. Thank you for tuning in. Ravi has a question. I know Man United are a big club, but do Man United still have the pulling power to attract top players in the world? This is quite an interesting question, but I think some players are going to be automatically attracted to Manchester United. I don't want to sound like history SC, but a lot of people are going to be attracted based off the history of Manchester United, how big the club is, and probably the amount of wages that Manchester United could probably pay for the player as well. But if you was looking at wanting to win trophies in the next 2 to 3 years, I can't imagine that is going to be attractable to many players to come to Manchester United, unless, of course, they do discuss this kind of rebuild phrase. But it feels like we've had about 5 rebuilds since Sir Alex Ferguson. But so it's a good question. It's a good question. A part of me says yes, and a part of me says no. But what do you think about that, John?
And also you got to compete with Newcastle United as well if we stay up as well. Listen, we are gonna bully ourselves about as well in transfer market as well. But going back to Man U, I would say, look, listen, your club, I said earlier, is the biggest club in the world, so you should be able to attract people as well. The only question is, are they going to come to United if they're not in the Champions League? These players now want to come and play Champions League football, yeah? And they will not come to a club that doesn't offer Champions League football, yeah? That is the thing. But you still got the history, you still got the pulling power, you still got the fans, the club, and whatever sort of thing. And also, the manager is going to be so important as well. It's not the question of coming to your club. Who are you going to play? I'll give you an example, right? That's Vlahovic, right? Vlahovic, right? He's been linked to Arsenal and Man City and Spurs. And I said to people weeks and weeks now, it'll stay in Italy, it'll join Juventus, right? It's not the club, it's who is going to be the manager, who you're going to play for. You need to speak to the manager and find out about their ideas, sort of thing, who do you want to play for. And I can tell you now, like, that's going to be so crucial. But listen, back to the question, can you attract the top players? Of course you can, because you're Man United. After you, like I said, massive club, huge tradition, right? And you've won things, but you haven't won now for 6 seasons. That is the thing. Forget the Champions League, I hate to say you're not going to win that, by the way, but 6 years without a trophy at Man United, I think that is absolutely horrendous for that football club. Absolutely horrendous. And that needs to be fixed up very, very quick, because if you don't win the big prizes, you'll be looking at 10 years, and you do not want that for Man United for 10 years. Do you know what I mean? But listen, I think get the players in. Yes, you got players like Cavani in. You got Ronaldo back. You've De Gea still at the club as well, which I think is good for you guys. Yeah. Luke Shaw's there. You need to fix up the midfield, by the way. You got the players there. You got fantastic players at the club, but at the end of the day, I just do not know what's happening there. But you need a manager that's going to come in, a world-class manager, an elite manager, to come in and fix that team up. And you need to get it in from July the 1st, and then get the players in, get your tags in early, right? Nice and early before pre-season, and then you could bet in then. But until then, I think they want to play for a Champions League team.
I agree. And a title-winning team as well, even.
Exactly.
Good evening to James. Thank you for tuning in. Bath Time's got a question. It's, of course, non-football related, but what is the most disappointing TV show you've seen? I know some people in the chat are saying Game of Thrones.
Listen, I don't watch a lot of TV these days, do you know what I mean? Because obviously I'm streaming as well. I watch the sports channel sort of thing. But the one thing I'm going to say, the most exciting thing on TV I've seen, Newcastle got to take over. But the most one TV show, oh man, there's quite a few, isn't there? I haven't watched a lot of TV. I watched The Chase and, a few programs as well. So I haven't really got one at the end of the day. I just think it's fun. I do like Strictly Come Dancing, by the way. I really do. And, people say I should be a watch along for Strictly Come Dancing, which I will not do on my football channel. It's absolutely no way. But there's a lass called Claire Williams. She loves Strictly Come Dancing. She's a Reggie now as well. She's amazing. And, she loves Strictly Come Dancing. But listen, end of the day, I can't think of the most disappointing. Sometimes EastEnders, by the way. So I'll go with EastEnders at some parts.
In terms of TV series I've watched, I'd say a disappointing one what I have watched is... Good question. It might be Dexter, to be honest, because the ending of it, I was just thinking, what? It just didn't make sense at all. Then a few weeks after I watched it, I actually met the main actor in Manchester. I was like, oh, and I was like, I was thinking that it was very disappointing overall, but I could even agree with you that a lot of the soaps now for me are probably very disappointing. The storylines don't make sense and they're very silly.
No. Very silly. Look at Emmerdale, right? It's just all scripted now. This is all scripted and Emmerdale sort of thing. And, people taco as well sort of thing. But if you go back to the 80s and that sort of thing, hey, listen, it is what it is. And, back then, we missed this as comedy TVs as well. Comedies, we missed them. You got like programs like Benny Hill. You got people like Walker and Wise, Cannonball, all these characters sort of thing. We haven't got any characters on TV these days.
No, I can agree with that completely. Here's the next question now from Niall. For you, John. Do you think Newcastle will try to get Diego Carlos in the summer?
I think Sevilla will offer him to us, but I would just say to Sevilla, I don't want to do business with you ever again, because we want them in January, not summer, sort of thing. You know what I mean? But I think they played a blinder because they did not want to sell him, and because they had a good chance to win the La Liga with Real Madrid. Yeah, but that turned out well, did it? They said play 2 more games, did win those 2 games, and then after 68 million, we did never get again. For me personally, I would have gone for Sven Botman, younger defender, going to be world class, but also as well, Sven Botman's come on and said that, look, he loves the project in Newcastle, but he also said Milan is a beautiful city. I have to agree with him because Milan is a beautiful city. I've been there a few times, and you know what? It's a stunning city. But if I was a better man with Sven Botman, if he stayed up, I think he'd come to us, but I would not be surprised if he went to AC Milan. But on to Diego Carlos. If we do get him again, which I don't want to do business of here, right, and he comes to Newcastle, cool. Then we have 3 Brazilians on our books, wouldn't we? Guimarães, Joe Linton, and Diego Carlos. I think our team is going to be Newcastle's heel.
Personally, I wouldn't go back for Diego Carlos if, of course, I was Newcastle, been messed around, and I would say, right, if you want to sell him, that's fine. We're not going for him because you've already took the mick now. So I'd rather go elsewhere for another defender. That's what I would personally do if I was Newcastle, because you need to show that you're not a mess around in these transfer windows, and Seville have done it more than once at this point. So they need to show not to mess around to Premier League clubs, because they've done it to 2 Premier League clubs now.
I have to agree. I agree with you, because at the end of the day, right, I mean, obviously the player wanted to come, and I just think I feel sorry for the kid because he wanted to come to Newcastle, right? And I just don't think we'd probably get someone better than Diego Carlos if I'm honest, with someone younger sort of thing. Sven Botman would be fantastic. And we probably, we got Dan Burn. I think Dan Burn would turn out to be a cracking signing as well. I think Fabian Schär will turn out to be a cracking signing, cracking player as well, if the game against us is anything to go by, yeah? But we probably need 1 more defender. We definitely need 2 strikers. And we definitely need a quality goalkeeper if Eddie Howe doesn't rate Martin De Backer that much. But we need, if it's going to be a keeper, it should be a world-class goalkeeper. That's what we need.
Yes, I completely agree. And I think if, for example, you don't go for a world-class goalkeeper, you need to have a world-class back 4. And if you have a world-class back 4 and it works well with the goalkeeper, like in that bit of a triangle, that can even work as well, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree, because a standard keeper could play behind a world-class defender because they're world-class at what they do. It makes you world-class. And if you've got a world-class keeper, then you got to have a solid back 4 in front of them as well. That's what we need.
Yes. Kai has a question. If United can't get Ten Hag or Poch and Ragnick doesn't want to stay, who should you get? So Ragnick is already going to obviously the board as a consultancy role if he doesn't stay on. But for me, a lot of people are wanting to have Enrique, the Spain manager at Manchester United. But when you do look at that, he is contracted until the World Cup 2022. So that means we can't get him till at least the 22/23 season. So this is a difficult one in my opinion to say who. It's going to be until the 23/24 season we can't get him actually. So that is just going to be a very difficult one of who personally we could get, because I think they'll probably, if that was the case and with Enrique, would have to look at another interim manager. So John has already said Simeone would be a good shout for Manchester United. Some people are saying the Seville manager. Some people are saying Nagelsmann. But if I was Nagelsmann, I wouldn't want to leave this Bayern Munich team. So there isn't that much options really for Manchester United to look and find somebody.
Yeah, I think Nagelsmann, I think he'll be at Bayern for 10 years. I really do think he'll be there for 10 years at least, this guy, because I think he's going to do bits. He's a young manager, which is going to get better and better and better. Yes. For me, if you ask us who's the best young manager in world football, it's going to be Nagelsmann for me. 100% all the way. He is the best young manager. I heard people saying Mikel Arteta. Yeah, how weird, man. He ain't nowhere near. He's trying to say that Arteta's the best young manager because he worked for Pep. Also, Mikel Arteta's done, right, is put out corns for Pep when he was assistant manager, right? That's all he does. Put out corns. Jacques Delbo got it. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. Put out corns for Pep. That's all he does, yeah? So he goes to Arsenal, right? And I tell you what, he'd be gone at the end of the season, Arteta. Let's be real. But, for me personally, I think Nagels would be at Bayern for the next 10 years at least. I think this guy's the best young manager in world football. For you got to go for Simeone because you need someone's going to come in and it's going to take no nonsense, right? It's going to be tough and it's going to be up there, sort of thing. And the players has got to come. They got to command respect. And unfortunately, the managers you've had did not have that at all whatsoever. Diego Simeone will command respect, yeah.
Yes.
And that's what's going to happen. And if you get him and you get the right players coming in, I think you probably win the league. Potentially in this first season.
Potentially, because he's done wonders for me at Atletico Madrid, winning the league, and he's had some good spells in the Champions League as well. So he would be a good shout. I know a lot of the United fans are not wanting him. Everyone's got a mixed opinion, but I just feel like if there's no Ten Hag or Poch or Ragnick or Enrique really, or even Simeone, there's not many managers out there who would take that job, because it's like we'd have to pay for that contract to end to come to Manchester United. So there isn't that many available managers for Manchester United at the moment.
That's the thing. That's the thing as well, sort of thing. Like, I know people say in the chat they don't want to see Diego Simeone. One thing, ask yourself a question: do you want to play attacking football and not winning games, or do you want to be pragmatic? I know it's not a thing that's in the sea, pragmatic and win trophies. Me personally, I'd rather go pragmatic for a couple of seasons and win trophies as well. If that means winning your title, playing that way, then do it. Because Man U now are going to have to get used to the idea of being pragmatic. And I hate to say that sort of thing. So you want the best managers in the world, you got to trust them.
I completely agree. But whatever manager I do get, I will back. Because I do agree that our manager should be backed until there is, of course, that excuse of where we can't back him no longer. Hello there to James of Flatbrush. Thank you for tuning in. Just updating us about Forest beating Leicester. Hello there as well to Flying Pig. I hope you're well. Hi, Maisy and John. Lack of ambition from the owners and lack of bottle from some players too. A sad state at this club. Keep up the great work. Thank you very, very much for that there, Flying Pig. And I completely agree with that comment. Lack of ambition, lack of bottle. And I think no matter what manager we're going to get, if we've got the same board and the same owners, because it's like a pyramid, if the bottom half gets fixed, but the top half remains the same, that of the top half will end up going back down to the bottom half of that pyramid, and it'll go around in a toxic circle all over again until the pyramid overall is a whole shift. So if we're gonna fix the bottom half, we need to fix the top half as well. That is my personal opinion. Or otherwise, in the next 2, 3, 4 seasons, the same will happen again of what happened with Ole, what happened with Van Gaal, what happened with David Moyes, and what happened with Jose Mourinho.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what it is, right? I mean, since he left in 2013, I mean, 5 managers in what, 9 seasons? That is shocking. Absolutely shocking. I mean, you need a stability manager that's going to come in and last in the club for 5 years, right? But one thing I'm going to say as well, I mean, as clubs like yourselves, Arsenal and Spurs, you need to look over your shoulders because there's going to be a new game, there's going to be a new player in there soon. And that's us. Yeah, that's us. We stay up this season. I really think we will, right? And we compete, we spend the money, and we break into the top 4. Then, Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea are guaranteed. It's that risk for the top 4. And if we get it and we play our way, then I hate to say it, but I don't think you get Champions League for the next 4 or 5 seasons if Newcastle's around. And I tell you what, as well, that'd be embarrassing for you club and Spurs and Arsenal. Arsenal's not doing well. They're not make top 4. Spurs may not make top 4. I think you will, though. I think you'll do it just. I really think you will.
I hope so. I really hope so.
But we'll be fine. We'll be fine. We'll be fine next season. This season.
Ray has a question for you, John. Will Newcastle find another Rob Lee or any of those type of players?
100%, and I believe we will do because we are the richest club in the world, and we've got a player, obviously Bruno Gamache, right, box-to-box player. He wins tackles and pass the ball, distribute the balls as well, loves taking shots as well. So we got that one there, and that's for a Tina Speedo-like sort of thing. Someone's going to make runs as well for our very take on players. Sort of, that's what I'd love to see. It's a doable. We got the money to pay for it, and I'd love to see it happening, Maisy. I'd love to see an Aspida type player come in again and have a real go. And it'll happen. It'll definitely happen. But we've got to pay big bucks, big money for it as well. But I say yes, we will. I think things will change in Newcastle. And I think things will be fine for us. But I say yes in the future.
Hello there to Rich. Thank you as well for tuning in. Niall has a question for you. What is your thoughts on Celtic beating Motherwell 4-0? Niall wasn't very happy with it being his home team, though.
Listen, I mean, sorry now, but Celtic's my team, second team. I thought Celtic's been fantastic. I mean, under Ange Postecoglou, right? I thought everybody first came in, Efson, Ange who? Ange what? You know what I mean? But listen, we got to back this guy. And what he did, he's come in and he's just got a philosophy of playing open attacking football. He's not going to play the long ball. He's not going to pass the ball sideways and backwards. He ain't going to allow that at all whatsoever. It's going to take him time. And it's took a couple of months to fall into place. Yeah? People say, Rangers going to win the title, Rangers going to win the league. I've said from day one, Celtic would get that title back in either way. Yeah? And then you got people like Paul tuning for you, laughed at us. You got Baza laughed at us, really laughed at us. Everyone laughed at us saying that Rangers going to do it again and again and again. We're going to be 4, 5, 6 years behind them. Let's be real. And you know what it is, right? I mean, Celtic will win, go all the way this season. Beating Rangers the other night has told us that we're going to win the league. It's as simple as that. Rangers do what they want. Celtic will step up. And if they've not dropped the points against St Mirren, got beat off Livingston, or beat Hearts in the first game, I think Celtic will win it by now. I think Celtic now have got the strength and the confidence of going all the way. The 3 Japanese players we've got, Atate is absolutely class. Kyogo, Fashinagi as well is going to be fantastic. And there's Darcian, if I pronounce it right. And they're going to come really fantastic players. I mean, Angie to come in, got the players over from Japan, the players that he can trust. And he's done it, absolutely done it. And Atate scored twice in the Glasgow derby against Rangers. He must be thinking, listen, it's just another game to him. It's just another game. And he just thought, 2 goals against Rangers in one of the biggest derbies in the world? No problem. But so now, I think we had to win that game today. If you're going to win the SPL, you have to beat teams like Motherwell, unfortunately. And that's exactly what we're doing today.
Vincent has a question for you here as well, John. What is your favourite Newcastle sponsor and your favourite sponsor from another team? So his, for example, is like Sharp.
Okay. For me, I like the Newcastle brand. I don't drink, by the way. I like the one, the Newcastle brand L, but I don't drink, by the way. I do not drink at all. So that's a cracking sponsor for me. For me, I don't mind. It's going to shock a lot of people. I like those aeroplane ones as well, which I think is great. I'm not going to mention the name, but there's only a couple of them. AC Milan's got a good one. Emirates as well, but it's also as well, by the way. Excuse me. NTL, Northern Rock, both for Newcastle United, and there's a couple ones as well. I do like. What else do I like? Just a few as well, sort of thing. I'm not going to remember, sort of for me, Newcastle brand L, because that's really popular in Ken Keegan.
One Manchester United sponsor I actually really like is Vodafone. I think it really complemented the shirt so well, and Vodafone for me, it was like one of the first shirts I do remember Manchester United in.
Yeah, that's a good sponsor as well. I think that's really good. Orange as well. Orange is a good sponsor as well. I can remember that as well. You got Magnus as well from Celtic. Again, you got some cracking ones as well. You've got Emirates, like I said, as well. You've got I don't know what's your. I mean, your sponsor is good for your team today. As well. Also, we had the one I hated is Wonga. I really hate that. I'll tell you what I like Virgin Media as well for half the season in Newcastle, like 6-month one. Also, we had quite a few as well. It's out there. And who else do I like? Jeep from Juve as well. Pirelli, it used to be Pirelli at Inter Milan. That was really cool as well. You got some good ones as well, sort of thing. So yeah, it's tough, but so many to name. But
it is so many different sponsors. But for Manchester United version, mine is definitely Vodafone, my favourite one. Hello there as well to Richard. Thank you for tuning in. And Reese has said title is staying at San Siro, except going to be coated in red and black. Sanchez and Botman are the top summer targets, John. Your thoughts?
I think Botman will probably come to Newcastle. I think Milan will not be able to afford the money straight away, by the way. I don't think they're going to pay 34 million quid for the lad. There's no way. Because what you have to understand is Italian football, unless you're Juve, right? They haven't got a lot of money. Donnarumma, right? They could have got at least 50, 67 million quid for the goalkeeper, but he walked with PSG on the free. AC Milan were absolutely stupid for that, man. They knew he was going to be out of contract at the end of the season, and they allowed him to walk on the free to PSG. So whoever's decision was that, questions need to be asked. Do you know what I mean? But luckily, they got a Malagan goalkeeper for Lille, right? They paid something like 20-odd million for the keeper, and I think he's been outstanding for them. But, I mean, going to Renato Sanchez, used to play for Swansea, had a tough time. I think he left very, 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 came to Premier very early in his career, which is the wrong move. I think if he came back to the Premier League now, I think he'd be a decent player. I really do think that. And he played for Swansea City as well. But I don't know where they're getting the money from, Milan. I really don't. But if they got the money, good luck to them. But I think Simon Kjær is going to be leaving at the end of the season. I think he's out to the end of the season anyway. One thing I will say, Milan definitely need a defender. They definitely need a defender. And they want to spend Botman as well. And we got to compete against Milan for him. But we got to make sure that we don't get relegated. But going back to the competition, the title staying in San Siro. I think he's going to go to the blue and black half, I'm afraid, mate.
James of Flatbrush has said the WS8 table title is on. 10 points separates from first to sixth. Manchester United are currently in third place after the draw against Arsenal. But it's been absolutely amazing, the WSL table so far this season, and this second half of the season, because we're near enough at halfway of the season now. So it's most crucial that we do pick up the points where we can. We've finished playing Arsenal for the season. We've only got Manchester City, which is next week. Then the only big team really we've got to play then is Chelsea, and that is one of the last games of the season. So between Manchester City and Chelsea, we need to try and get as many points as we can throughout that to aim for Champions League football, because I would consider that quite disappointing otherwise, especially knowing how well we've played this season. Ravi has said, Maisy, your content is quality. Don't flip-flop with your opinions on United. Thank you very much, Ravi. Honestly, means so much, all the support that you do give. Reese thinks it's top 4 at the end of the season. First Milan, second Inter, first Napoli, and fourth Lazio. Do you agree with that there, John?
I think Lazio will need to keep winning their games, because at the minute they're 7th. It's reachable. They can still get 4th, but the way Juve are playing in a minute, and now they've got Fialovic as well, I think Juve pinched that 4th spot for me. Atalanta, I'm sure they fight back, but I still think Juve experience, I think they'll come in and get that 4th spot. Napoli, don't discount them at all. They need to start winning games and beat the teams bottom of the table, which I haven't really been doing at all. They've dropped points a lot this season, and it shouldn't really happen. And like I said, Milan probably bottle it again. And Inter, I think they'll find form again. I really do think they'll find form again. So, I mean, I hope I'm wrong. Anyone can win it, but I have to go with again the experience. And I mean, Laurent Martinez is going to be key. He's going to be real key. And they play feet at back, and I think it'll be fine.
Andrew has a question for myself. Chelsea being City, Man United. Chelsea beating City, Man United out title race now. To be honest, I actually considered us being out of the title race after the Watford defeat, because we were dropping too many points at this point. We lost against Liverpool, we lost against Manchester City, drawing against Everton, losing against Aston Villa. They're the kind of points we should be dropping against, especially Everton and Aston Villa. I understand that there is going to be draws, there is going to be losses throughout the season, but I did consider us out of the title race for quite a while, and for us to actually aim for top 4, which absolutely I hate, because I think we shouldn't be a team what is wanting to qualify for top 4. We should be a team wanting to win the league. So when I actually hear myself saying stuff like that, it annoys me, because I think we shouldn't be that type of team to think, wow, we need to compete now to get into top 4. We should be right. We need to compete with Manchester City to beat the league. We need to compete with Liverpool to win the league. So the fact that I'm saying we need to compete for top 4 just really says a lot of how disappointing Manchester United has been for me this season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, you need to be winning games and dropping points as well. That's why you haven't been doing it. Let's be real. I mean, this is the thing. I mean, it's your defense as well, your midfield, and you see silly goals as well. And it's a tough one, really, but I think you need to do the best you can, just get that 4th spot, if I'm honest with you. And I didn't think you're going to win the league anyway, to be honest with you as well, because the way Man City are playing, I think they're going to be probably win the title again. Liverpool, we can't write them off yet. Why? Because they got 2 games in hand, plus they got a win at the Etihad as well. Win those games, and they'll be right back in the title race. But I think Man City dropped points against Southampton as well, and that really opened up for Liverpool again with those 2 games in hand. But it's going to be between those 2 now. But the hope you can get for now, I think you should be 4th place.
Hello, Azelle, to nipping in the chat. I hope you're well. Question from Niall. Thoughts on Kidderminster being so close to a big upset and Chelsea getting out of jail versus Plymouth? For me, it's just the beauty of the FA Cup, and just to show that the FA Cup isn't a tin pot trophy, what a lot of people would say. It's the oldest cup in English football, and it should have a lot more recognition. I would really love for somebody to win the FA Cup. It's good that Kidderminster done so well, knowing that they are not they're not a big name team, and Plymouth as well was extremely unlucky knowing that Chelsea managed to snatch that win. I can see that as well. That there is also Bournemouth is currently losing, so just the beauty of the FA Cup for me, to be honest. But what about you, John?
Absolutely. I mean, anyone could beat anyone these days. I mean, I'd love to see a smaller club upset a big club as well. Kidderminster said earlier on, I thought they're so close of beating West Ham. Yeah, first half, I thought they were excellent first half. Let's be real. I mean, West Ham didn't have a clue in the first half, mislaid passes. When they get the ball, they get closed down very quickly. They didn't know what hit them, sort of thing. But David Moyes fixed up in the second half and got the late goal in the 90th minute. Wow. I mean, Declan Rice, what can I say about this guy? Great player. And yes. Plymouth started well. I mean, they had chances. They had a real goal at extra time. Odegaard got caught out. So for Chelsea, very poor at the minute. But listen, it's all about enjoying yourself. I mean, this is why it's good to see these clubs taking on the big clubs, right? Give it a real go and have fun. Just go out there. You got now to lose. You're in a win-win situation in the FA Cup, yeah? Go out, show us what you can do, enjoy your football, yeah? And if you lose and give it a right go, then boom, they're going to love you, yes. Yeah? But I heard Bournemouth is winning at Bournemouth, am I right?
Yes, that is correct. Bournemouth is currently losing.
Wow.
So as it stands, it'll be them who'll be taking on Everton. Everton at home. So that'll be very interesting. Very interesting tie.
Very interesting. And I'll tell you what as well. I mean, again, we talked about playing on the strength team. Yeah? I know you got a priority sort of thing. Cool. But listen, I think Bournemouth is going to be embarrassed. Scott Parker's going to be embarrassed as well for playing on the strength team. Now, he's going to get a lot of stick for it as well, for doing that sort of thing. You know what I mean? I can understand that promotion's their key. Promotion's their priority. I get that. But just give it a go at the FA Cup. Give it a right go.
Question from Rather: what positives can you take from this current season? And to be honest, the only positive I can say is we're currently in the top 4 and we have still got Champions League football, and that is the only positives I can really say, to be honest. But what's the positives for you, John?
Yeah, positive for me, I think for me is to stay up in the league. Stay in the Premier League, get some wins on our belts, stop winning games, stop worrying about other teams as well. And let's hope that we get enough points to stay up this season. I truly believe we will do that. And I think the players will know this. I mean, they'll know that you've got to start winning games, stay in the Premier League, happy days. And that's what I expect us to do.
Flying Pig United has said that, did you see Martial struggle his debut against Seville, for Seville? And their manager said he has to give so much more. So yes, I seen that he got took off and he got substituted off. And to be honest, it does really raise alarm bells there for Anthony Martial, because he's got given this loan deal because he wants more game time. He's getting this game time at Seville. Maybe he might be rusty, but he still should be doing a lot bigger display, because if he wants to leave Manchester United like he so desires, he needs to be putting more on the pitch.
Absolutely. I mean, he's got to move. Like you said, he's got to move, and now we're playing games now. He's got to show you lot how good a player he is. And another thing is as well, and like you said, it's rusty as well. I think it's rustiness as well, which is going to be key.
Yes.
Give him a couple of games, and he might be okay. He might get some games, he might score some goals, and then he'll be back to his best. At the minute, he hasn't played for ages, and if there's only one game, I think Sevilla fans need to give him time.
Absolutely. Rich has got a question here. Will Rodgers be the next manager to be sacked?
I tell you what, though, these Leicester owners are ruthless, right? They are absolutely ruthless, and they can sack him at any time. But because he won the FA Cup, I think they're going to buy him time. But it depends what the fans want. I mean, I know it's under pressure a bit because, excuse me, because he's not been getting the results, isn't he? We got to play Leicester soon, by the way, at home. That'd be fun. But they also got to play Leicester and play Burnley away from home. And I expect them to beat Burnley as well, because if they don't win that game, I think Ross is going to be in big, big trouble. But if he's going to be sacked, I think it's either be the end of the season or next.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's on borrowed time now because I think since like, of course, they've won the league, they've built up such a great team. The recruitment is unbelievable, and the owners are extremely good owners for me, in my opinion, Leicester owners. But what I think Leicester needs to be a lot better in their defence. They strengthened their defence. They brought in Vestergaard, and what have they really done with that defence? I know they said obviously Fofana's been injured, but surely the defence should be a lot better when they're playing against the smaller teams in the Premier League. What they should be getting the 3 points against, and knowing that they got knocked out of the Europa League for me against a fairly easy group. They got knocked out into the Europa Conference League. So good luck to Leicester in terms of that. But I think he is definitely on borrowed time, and perhaps he might be going by the end of the season. Hello to Gino. Thank you for tuning in. Niall, question for John and Maisy. What is your thoughts on Steve Bruce? I already know these thoughts, but John's like sorting out his chair so he can give a proper explanation.
Oh man, where do I start with this one? I can start with loads, right? I mean, first of all, Steve Bruce is named manager at West Bromwich Albion. I've done a clip content that as well. I've got a lot of stick with Albion fans saying that Steve Bruce is a good manager, blah, blah, blah. I like to say, well, good luck at that. But at the end of the day, right, he's brought in to get West Brom up. That's why he's only given an 18-month contract, right? Yep. If he doesn't get them up at the end of the season, he's going to be under big pressure next season. I can guarantee you that. But guess it's at West Brom as well. Andy Carroll. And he only gave Andy Carroll 10 seconds when he brought him on at West Brom, right? In a 0-0 draw last season, he brought him on with 10 seconds to go on the pitch. That's it. Yeah? And I'll tell you what, it'd be interesting to see how these two get on, by the way. But, I mean, Valerian Ishmael, right, got sacked 1 win in 7, right? It's not good enough for West Brom, not good enough at all. The style of player is like the long ball, anti-football under him, right? West Brom fans didn't like it at all. So it's okay when you're winning games, but you don't win games playing that way, you're going to get absolutely shot at. Yeah? And Steve Bruce could do exactly the same. He's going to play the hoofball as well. And I wonder what the West Ham fans would think of that. I think the West Ham fans like him. You know what I mean? I think they do. But the bottom line is, I feel sorry for the West Ham fans. I really do. I want to say, good luck, enjoy it, but don't say you'd be warned.
Yeah, I'm not going to give my opinions on Steve Bruce. I think a lot of people already know my opinions, so I'll be extremely nice. But what we'll do 2 more questions, and then we will wrap up. Okay. Hello there to Del Boy. Thank you for tuning in. So, Flying Pig United has asked, how many seasons will it take for Newcastle to be genuine title challengers? He thinks it's going to be 5 at least.
I think that these orders ain't going to mess about, right? They want to take instant success. If we stay up this season, I'll do it in 3 seasons. I think top 10 with a trophy, then the top 8, maybe it's a trophy, and then we give it a go and following after that. So I'm going to give it a 3 year.
For me, I was thinking that it will take roughly around 2 seasons for me to get into Europa League football. I'd probably say it'd take roughly around 4 years for me for Newcastle to actually title for the league, because I think what Newcastle need to do, they need to build it up gradually. They need to, once they get out of relegation, they need to aim for Europa League. Then after Europa League, they need to aim for top 4. So I think this is what they need to do, and I think it will go over the course of 4 years for me. Minimum.
Yeah, I'll say 3 to 4 years. And you're right. It's going to take time, but all we've got to do, enjoy it. Let's not, get carried away. Let's have fun and strap our seatbelts, Newcastle fans. Me as well. And let's hope that things will be fantastic. And if we stop the season, sky's the limit. Then we can move on to better things. So if we get relegated, it's going to put us back 2 years.
We'll finish this final question here from Kai. John, do you think if Steve Bruce had the money available, could he have got European football?
Not a chance. Not a chance. Honestly, yeah. He regressed them. He regressed them straight away. Look at the way he regressed a couple of players as well, like ASM, for example. Yeah. All it is one tactic. Give the ball to ASM, see what he does. That is it. He doesn't do tactics, right? That's number one. Yeah. He gets players to train 3 times a week. That's it. He doesn't do it every day because he spends more time at home in Cheshire than he does coaching Newcastle United. But for me, definitely not.
No. Yeah, so that was the final question, and it was a good question to finish off with, talking about Steve Bruce. And I agree with John. No chance he would be able to get European football for me. But I want to say hello to people who I didn't say hello to. Hello there to John King. I hope you're well. Thank you there as well for tuning in. Hello there as well to Brad. Thank you for tuning in. And hello there as well to Roy for tuning in. Thank you everyone who has watched the channel. Just as Brush has said, I'm so close now to 500 subscribers. So everybody, please hit the like and subscribe button. I checked, I'm only 3 more away now from 500 subscribers. Yes. And I just want to say a big thank you as well for John. Thank you for tuning. Thank you for coming onto the channel. You've been absolutely brilliant as always. Absolutely love having you on. Do you want to shout out your socials?
Yeah, sure. I'll be going back on do the press conference reaction tomorrow because we've got a match on Tuesday night. So because we've got a game on Tuesday night,
yes,
no matter on Tuesday night, we could. I don't know what you're doing tomorrow. Are you doing anything tomorrow?
I've just got one stream tomorrow, and that is it.
And that's what time is that, though?
7 o'clock.
You got one right. In that case, then, because I've got press conference action tomorrow, probably do it about 7:30. So it gives people time to come and check. Tuesday, I'm doing the live watch along, doing that at 7 o'clock. So we've got a show review normally. That's going to have to be put back, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I know. Fans Forum on Wednesday, 7 o'clock. We're doing the Thursday. I think I should be going Warren Barton on Thursday, but I'm still waiting for confirmation on that. Then the match preview on Friday, because we got Aston Villa on the Sunday, and then Saturday we got a bit of a gap. I don't know what I'm going to do then. And Sunday, I do the watch along on Sunday for the Aston Villa game. So yeah, it's going to be tough. But if I can squeeze it in, I've got to have to squeeze it. You got a stream at 7 o'clock, haven't you? So, and the only because I know I'm in the warehouse tomorrow. So the only I can do it with you. What time do you finish at tomorrow on Monday?
4.
We could do what we could do if I push back live conference reaction press conference at 7:30. I could do one with you about 6, but you got to shoot at 7, haven't you?
Yeah, unless you want to do it a little bit earlier, but we can discuss it backstage if you like.
Yeah, that'd be fine. We'll sort it out. And then, so, like I said, my socials as well is John Sinclair on my YouTube. Please do that as well, and also on Twitter, John has got MUFC42, and it's John Sinclair on Facebook and John Sinclair 50 on Instagram. But also got TikTok as well.
Brilliant. I've put John's YouTube in the description below, as well as his Twitter. So go and check John out. And a big congratulations to John. He has hit the milestone 2K subscribers this week as well. So big well done to John, and many more subscribers ahead for John. And with myself, I will be going live at 8:30 tonight. I will be doing a preview with Dan from Turf Moor for the Burnley preview, and then on Tuesday I'll be doing a player ratings as soon as the game has finished, to do player ratings for the Burnley game. And then on Thursday I'll be doing Manchester United women versus Manchester City preview, and a couple of quizzes next week too. So go and stay tuned there to Devils United. Hit the like and subscribe button. I'll see you there in an hour, but until then, I'll see you soon. Goodbye.